Hi Year 5, I hope you're all well. It's a new week, so I'll be going through the maths with you for this week. Now this week's maths, it builds on what you were doing last week with multiplying and dividing by 10, 100 and 1000. But this week I would like you to use that skill to convert between the different metric measures. And by that I mean converting between kilometres and metres, kilograms and grams, litres and millilitres. You may need to convert between metres and centimetres too, and that is where your skill of multiplying by 100 and dividing by 100 comes in, but that won't be until later on. So if you had to convert between kilometres to metres, and it was, for example, 33 kilometres, and you want to see how many metres that was, quite simply it's 33 times it by 1000, and that would give you your answer in metres. Your numbers will be fairly big today, or even fairly small. So to help you, I would suggest using a place value map like I've got up here, or draw your grids, which is very similar to this anyway, like you're doing last week in your books. Okay, and remember, when you're multiplying, the digits need to move to the left because your answer obviously gets bigger, and when you're dividing, your digits need to be moving to the right as your answers get smaller. Okay, so if I had, for example, again, if I had, 29 kilograms of flour, and I want to work out how many grams that was, it would be 29 kilograms times it by 1000, and that would give you your answer in grams. You won't be working solely with whole numbers, because when it comes to working out the other way around between meters to kilometers, or grams to kilograms, or milliliters to liters, your answers might be in decimal. So it's really useful to be having your place value map or some kind of grid just to help you work out where your digits need to be moving to and from. Okay, so if I had, for example, let me have a guess, like 8,479 meters, and I wanted to convert that to kilometers, I would simply take my meters number, divide it by 1000, and that will give my answer in kilometers. Okay, again, same thing applies for going from grams to kilograms. If I had 2,500 grams of flour, I wanted to work out how many kilograms that was, it would be 2,500 divided by 1000, and that would give you my answer in kilograms. Okay, so your first task, you have got 3 separate conversion tables to complete. Copy them out into your books, guys. Don't worry about printing them out if you can't. Just copy them into your books and convert them using the simple conversion method, which is also on your sheet too. Just be careful when you are multiplying and dividing by 1000. It can get a little bit tricky or a bit fiddly. So do that for me first. Once you've had a go at doing those conversions, you have got a couple of word problems to have a go at. Now, I warn you now, they are a little bit tricky, so persevere with them and do whichever ones you can. If you're not too sure, if you're struggling, email us in. I'm sure we can help you and talk you through how you can answer those questions, but I'm sure if you really persevere, you'll be okay with it. Once you've had a go with the word problems, there is also a problem solving activity for you to have a go at doing too. I'm not going to go into the problem solving activity. I want to see if you can work it out for yourself, but it involves, I think, 8 different cylinders, and the water's been spilled out, and you need to work out which cylinder belongs to which person by reading the clues. So you almost have to be like little detectives and work out the answer to our problem solving for this week. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to email in, and we will obviously guide you through best we can. But I'm sure with the perseverance and the resilience that you've all been showing, you'll be able to get through it. Hang on, Year 5, I've just got something on my screen. Sorry, just one sec.
I think that's got it. Oh, hi Year 5. You must be here to find out about this week's English home learning. Well, you've come to the right place. We are going to be continuing with our work on Stick of the Dump. If you check out the PDF that is below this video, you will find the second extract from chapter 2 of the text. What we'd like you to do is to read this extract through very carefully and then answer a set of 6 comprehension questions which follow it. One of those questions asks you to use the APE strategy, which is to answer, to prove, to explain by quoting directly from the text. Now, this is a skill that we've practiced at school and over the past few weeks during lockdown learning, and we know you are fantastic at using it, so well done, keep it up. The second learning activity this week involves you becoming text detectives. What we'd like you to do is to scan through the text carefully and find some of the features that we've listed in a table. These features are expanded noun phrases, embedded clauses, prepositions, apostrophes for possession and for omission, also known as contraction, and also imagery. And we want you to look at similes this week. Now, these are all terms that we've learnt about in school and we're really successful at including them in our writing. But it's been such a very long time since we've been in school, so I thought it'd be important just to recap what each of these mean, and I've also given you some examples from chapter 1 of Stig of the Dump. Here goes.
First up, we're going to look at expanded noun phrases. These are a phrase made up of a noun and at least one adjective. If one or more adjectives are listed to describe the noun, a comma should be used to separate the sentence. An example from the text is something or somebody had a lot of shaggy black hair. Hair being our noun, shaggy and black being our adjectives, which are separated by a comma. Next up, we're going to look at prepositions. These are words which tell you where or when something is in relation to something else. Examples of preposition includes after, before, on, under, inside or above. An example quoted from the text is, there was a rattle of falling earth beneath him. Beneath in our sentence being our preposition. Now to imagery, and this week specifically we're looking at similes. A simile is a figure of speech which compares two things using like or as. Example quoted from the text is, of course, the flint. Barney looked at it glinting in the sunlight like a black diamond with its chipped pattern. Okay, the flint is being compared to a diamond. Now let's have a look at apostrophes. First up, apostrophes of contraction, also known as apostrophes of omission. Apostrophes can be used to show that you have omitted, which means left out, some letters when joining words together. So, for example, in the words you are, we can contract it to be your, the omitted letter being the A. In did not, we can contract it to be didn't, the omitted letter here is the O. And in you would, we can contract it to become you'd, and the missing letters are W, O, U and L. Next to apostrophes of possession. An apostrophe can be used to show that one thing belongs to or is connected to something. So in a singular noun, which means one, Barney's feet made dark prints in the dew. Here, Barney is the singular noun, so an apostrophe S is used to show that the prints belong to him. Now let's have a look at plural nouns. Okay, I'm going to give you a sentence. The brothers' feet were muddy. Here, brothers is our plural noun. It already ends in an S, so another S after the apostrophe is not needed here.
The last feature I want to talk to you about is embedded clauses. Now, we've used these quite a lot at school and we're getting a lot more adept at using them, but I just want to recap what it means. So, an embedded clause is a clause which is used in the middle of another clause which gives more information about a sentence. Now, an embedded clause does not make sense by itself. So, in the sentence, Barney rushed to the chalk pit. That's our main sentence, that's our clause. In this sentence, Barney, who was worried about Stig, rushed to the chalk pit. My embedded clause is who was worried about Stig. That is an embedded clause because it is in the middle of my sentence and it gives more information. You will notice as well that embedded clauses are often, but not always, followed by commas. Okay. There are a few examples of embedded clauses in the extract, so have a read through carefully, see if you can spot them. Good luck. Your teachers have also set a writing activity for you this week. And what we'd like you to do is to think about what your perfect afternoon would be. Who would you be with? What would you do? Where would you go? We would like you to write a descriptive paragraph and have a go at including some of the features that you've unpicked from extract 2 of the text. We'd love to know what your perfect afternoon would be, so please remember to share them with us. Okay, we need to have a look at our humanities learning now, but before we do that, I'm desperate for a cup of tea. That's better. Okay, humanities. This week we would like you to research the Stone Age diet. What kind of foods did the hunter-gatherers eat? How did they obtain it? What kind of tools, weapons did they use? How was their food cooked? How was it preserved? Now, if you check out the PDF below this video, there is lots of information included which will help you with your research. But if you can, use other sources to find out some information as well. Now, we want you to present your findings, but how you present them is totally up to you. You might want to draw a poster. You might want to write some facts in a leaflet. You might want to write a non-chronological report, or maybe you could record a video report. How you do it is up to you, but be creative and have lots of fun. Okay, that's it for this week's home learning. Do not forget to send in pictures of your work to the Year 5 email address, please, because we love seeing what you're up to. Okay, have fun, and hopefully I'll see you very, very soon.